Oops.
Yeah, a little delayed there. That's all right. We're ready. 30 seconds, real quick. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I think I'm a little delayed.
Are you?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure that out on my end.
Didn't I send you a brand new graphics card for that computer? Come on now.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that?
StreamYard is too demanding, I guess.
Something. USB. Just trying to
What's up?
see if something will make it. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Prioritize. Well, I don't know if you can do it now since we're already streaming, but Control Delete and then give priority to this browser. It's typically what I do.
Oh, well, we're already. So Control Delete. It says lock sign out task manager.
Yep, Task Manager, and then right click on the browser you're using and give it priority. Because we're professionals and we know about technology and junk and stuff and shit.
Yeah, something like that.
As I got my seasonal drink of apple cider and Fireball. And yes, I am taking the Fireball risk here. I know that they recalled millions of Fireball across the Europe and US because it has antifreeze in it. But hey, I'm going to roll the dice.
What?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, I did not. That's crazy.
I guess it was a bigger recall in Europe than it was here. But Fireball was showing signs or similar chemical compounds as antifreeze.
That's why it works so well.
That's Twitch. I swear to God, I've always had that. Impromptu live stream, guys. Mark and I were in the middle of a meeting and we just said, screw it. This is information that we think you guys would like to hear and go over. So we're gonna crack the door open a little bit. We're gonna let you peek behind the curtains and try to answer some questions for you. We've been getting a lot of them lately. Since Christmas, since sales really picked up when it comes to import tax, when it comes to VAT, when it comes to shipping things from Canada to the US, US to Canada, China to the US, or Malaysia to the US. So we want to kind of debunk some of the stuff that you may be seeing and reading and hearing about. Kind of let you guys in on the behind the scenes workings of a crypto company. We were solely a crypto company, whether it be retail sales, whether it be resellers, licenses, whether it be the hosting and the repairs, everything that we're doing behind the scenes, and try to answer as many questions as we possibly can without giving too much away of our upcoming ventures, because that'll be a whole separate avenue. But it was definitely a conversation that Mark and I felt we needed to share with you guys. And then towards the end, we'll go over some theories we have, some conspiracy theories, if you will, about cloud mining and some other crypto miners that do similar to what we do, but our thought process behind their website and what they're offering you guys compared to us. So hopefully we can debunk some of the things and explain some of our prices. We also want to go over and compare, the difference between CCMT token and say cloud mining and why we're going this direction versus an alternative. But just trying to be as transparent with you guys as always. We appreciate you guys. Yeah. Cheers.
Before we get into a lot of it, though, if you're new here, me and John, we're crypto miners. We started a crypto mine We are resellers, and we're here to document our journey. So come along with us. I'm John. He's John. I'm Mark. I tried to script that. It didn't work out. But yeah. So like John said, we're going to go into a little bit of insight. So what does it look like? What does it look like to be a reseller? What does it look like to be a crypto mine? What does it look like to any of that, right?
Right. So what we're going to do, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up our site here so we can talk about it, go over our prices and why our prices are structured the way they are in comparison to some of our competitors. Now, we're not going to name names. We feel like that's not necessary. I think that you guys will get the general grasp of it. I don't want to call anybody out directly. We're not that type of people. But I think some things need to be brought into light and some understanding needs to be had when it comes to buying crypto machines from US-based resellers like us. Mark and I have gone, well, Mark mainly has gone and done some serious legwork and has vetted a number of suppliers, and we've changed suppliers, and we're always updating and looking for better suppliers. But a lot of these suppliers, we have some here in the US, but a lot of them come from Malaysia or China. So it takes a lot of vetting and a lot of late nights. So, want to kind of divulge that with you guys and share that information and why our prices look the way they do. So let me go ahead and share. Let me bring up our website here. Boom. All right. So hopefully most of you guys are familiar with our site, coastalcryptomining.com. Hopefully they'll get a facelift here in the coming months, or we're working on it as things progress. That's one of our bigger things for 2023 is to kind of give our site a facelift and to clean it up a little bit and to really dial in the equipment that we offer. We're trying to be a one-stop shop for a lot of cryptocurrency miners, but we're, inventory right now is few and far between for some of the stuff that's out there. So we're going to try to dial in a lot of the equipment here. But jump over to our shop. Now, I know a lot of you guys, I'm sure, just go straight to the shop and don't really read any of the stuff here at the top. I don't blame you. I'm guilty of doing it too when I go shopping on sites. Our prices are competitive. We try our best to find stuff. If something is not on our site, we do our best to find it. We get a lot of questions about specific machines. We try our best to weigh in on those machines, whether, say, for example, it's the L5. We found a bunch of L5s. They were, hit or miss, roll the dice, whether they were good or not. But we offer them, but we're trying to steer people away from them just because we don't feel that it's worth somebody's money. If that's something you're dead set on getting, we can absolutely provide it for you, but we're going to, do our best to give you all the information that you guys need to make smart, educated decisions. We're not financial advisors. We don't give out financial advice. Our shipping policy, quality is important to us, ASIC miners, due to shipping regulations and tariffs, VAT tax and things of that nature, import tax, going through, some of the ports, everything from China to the US. ASIC equipment is first shipped to our inspection facility in Virginia, which would be me, and then prior to shipping to the customer. GPUs, due to nature of the pre-order system, which we don't have anymore, so this needs to be updated a little bit, but we're still going to go over it. Ship directly from the supplier. For more shipping information for bulk orders, obviously reach out to us. We try our best to keep shipping as competitive as we can and as low as we possibly can. One thing we cannot control, that we do not have control over, is import tax. But we negotiate with our suppliers to kind of compensate for that. You want to go into more detail on that, Mark, since you have a little more experience dealing with some of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, import tax, so especially when you're doing volume, like it's just unavoidable. even on like smaller equipment and things like that. Import tax itself is 25% the value of the item, and then depending on the company that you're shipping through, like they might have some facilitating fee. UPS is known for having some bunk fees that are involved in bringing things over from Bitmain and other areas in China.
DHL's a pain.
Yeah, DHL is a pain. Every single one of the shippers that do international shipping, they all have their own criteria. So it's very hard to figure out. I mean, we have some notes down on some of them, and we typically try to go through DHL when it comes to us, at least from our suppliers overseas, if we're getting things from overseas. But yeah, we've gone through vetting processes since we started. The whole reason that we became a mine was because we were tired of getting screwed over by, we started in the bull market. So, there were a ton of scams out there, or if you're ordering machines from certain companies in the region before like the China ban went through on crypto mining, there were it's just sketchy companies doing sketchy shit. To put it in like the most layman terms that I can put it in. And so John both got tired of it. And so I started vetting suppliers, building relationships, things like that. And we've gone through quite a few suppliers since starting. And we're whittling down to the ones that are most reliable, that can give us the best price for what we feel the value that we can offer to you guys. And so at the end of the day, with getting products from China, especially if like it's new in the box, there are certain things, they have a price per terahash on certain machines. We add very little when it comes to a profit margin on a machine. Obviously, we need to keep the lights on, so there is some fluff in there, but it's not a lot. However, if we're talking, you want a machine and you want it now, and when I say now, like a couple weeks, you're talking about getting it from the Beijing province of China, and they have to air that to us. That's not cheap, and it's getting more expensive. For a good example, in some cases, in most cases, we can do 7 to 10 business days getting it from to us to you. Doing that, though, providing that service, you're probably looking at roughly about a $350 air fee from them to us. And so like that's just something that we have to unfortunately include in our pricing when we're quoting out certain things on machines. I will tell you this, though. If you were to take specific miners, and let's say you went to compare between us and a well-known competitor of ours.
Don't name names.
Yep. I guarantee that you should be able to see the bottom line. We are always cheaper. Because again, we don't add a lot of fluff. Now, I don't want to say that's every time, but it is prevalent.
We do our best. Just to kind of jump onto that Mark's talking 350, 500, whatever it may be for machine size and weight and everything like that. And when a question comes up a lot, what about bulk orders? It increases quite a bit more when it comes to bulk orders. A lot of times we can get away with $350, $500, and that's on the cheap side, where we're claiming these through customs as server equipment, as hardware, and we can usually get it through customs fairly quickly. We've done business and communicated with customs, whether it's coming through Miami or New York or Norfolk, Virginia, or wherever it's coming from. We can usually do fairly well keeping it within that 350 range. It has gone up since we started business and we opened our doors, but as of late, 300, 350, 500 seems to be the golden zone. When you get to bulk orders, and you're getting bulk orders from overseas, and you're not getting them from, say, a farm that liquidates here in the States, it goes up exponentially. You can't. It's very difficult to hide. Or not. I shouldn't say hide. It's very difficult to pass a pallet of miners through customs without raising suspicion. They're going to stop it. They're going to inspect it. They're going to see what's inside of it. And we've had a number of packages opened and gone through and inspected, and it's part of the nature of doing import and export. But when you get to those large pallet size orders or multi-pallet size orders, whether it be, say, from our supplier DCX, and we're doing shipping container size stuff, where we're talking $5,000, we're talking, 2,500, $5,000 worth of just fees for shipping to get it to the States. So, these are just the things that a lot of times a lot of sites don't show you guys until you hit the buy button. Our prices, what you see, includes all of that VAT, all of the major VAT, tax, and shipping. Now, there is a shipping fee from us to your facility, to your farm, your house. That is it. But you can always get around some of those fees if you want to drop the price. I mean, we have supporters, Blue Moon Mining, Son of a Tech, Red Panda Mining, Aaron, if you want to go directly through him. These resources, you can get some discounts that a lot of other sites don't offer. And we just want to, open up the door a little bit to have that conversation with you guys to see what we can do to better our services, because, and I'm venting a little bit now, and having some of the conversations we've had in the past couple of days when it comes to shipping. Oh, well, so and so is offering the S whatever for this price, or so and so has the brand new whatever already in stock. BS. Those numbers that you're seeing, go hit buy now, see how much it changes. Then we'll have the conversation. Sorry, I was venting a little bit. I was ranting. So I got the Gold Shell X6 pulled up here. I'm going to hit add to cart. Now we can go view cart. And it says, look, shipping to Virginia, $42. So you get your total. That is it. That is what you pay. There's not $100 shipping charge. There's on top of another tax charge on top of this, on top of that. No, that is it. You pay your shipping, taxes built into it at that price for whatever state you're logging into our website in, and we're done. That's the end of the conversation, guys. And we try to make that as clear as we possibly can. And we do have promo codes. So, Aaron, what's your promo code? Can you drop it in the chat for me? I think we'll use Son of a Text while Aaron's putting his in the chat. So we can hit apply.
Wow,
takes $100 off.
Magic.
I mean, magic. Come on now.
We have a pay later function too. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if you have you have to be vetted through PayPal. So you have to have a PayPal account and have gone through the PayPal checks and balances to get that pay later function. It's not available to everybody.
Other features that we offer too, like we do direct invoicing. So there are certain products that you might see like a sales tax on or something along those lines, which is required by your state or not required, just depending on, again, what state you're in. We do direct invoicing to where like, okay, well, what does that look like compared to, what we're doing? Because like the L5, for example, that John was giving earlier, we do not list that on our website. We did at one time, but we realized the quality is not up to our standards, so we decided to just take it off. But we still, like he said, if you're dead set on getting an L5, we definitely will sell it. We will tell you right off the bat that we're not providing any warranty for it. We do, always offer our services for troubleshooting. But if a board is bad, on arrival, that's just, it is what it is. That's those machines. And they're used and abused, and they were sent specifically from a direct mine. I've went on this rant a million times already. The thing is, we'll do direct invoicing. So, we'll put, what the cost is on there. And at that point, we could say, hey, all right, we're having some type of promotion going on right now or something. And the cost on the invoice is what the cost on the invoice is. We're not the big guys, right? To where you just deal on the website and just deal. And I'm sure most of you in the chat already know that it's experience. Whether it's us or Aaron, we're here constantly in the DMs, talking to you guys, telling you what's up, and just going over things. So it's just, we're trying to give you the behind the scenes of what it takes us to get the product here for you, and then getting it out to you, I guess.
Right. And it's not just us. Every retailer in the U.S. or U.S. based with U.S. Canada that's reselling ASIC equipment is paying VAT tax, is paying all this stuff, and they're taking advantage of a lot of people out there, and we're just sick of seeing it, and it's getting aggravating having some of the conversations. We want, even if you find a better price someplace else, we understand you're going to find the best deal possible, but at least go find that deal with all the information available to you. And we're trying to give you guys that information. We as Coastal Crypto LLC have a Arizona reseller's license. We are licensed resellers. It was a painstaking argument to get that license, but Mark was able to get it for us. So we have access to the same suppliers that Walmart, Best Buy. I was about to say Circuit City, but they're gone.
Well, I don't know about you. You're stuck in like the 1980s still. You have a Radio Shack over there.
I know. I have Radio Shack here. No. It's just a sign in a storefront. It doesn't exist anymore. But yeah. This is stuff that Mark and I have learned as we have progressed through this journey, creating Coastal Crypto, creating our hosting service, and now the token. We want to let you guys in on what it takes, what the conversations we have with Aaron or some of our other, Aaron's actually a sales guy of ours, questions that we have from our affiliates. And as we expand and grow the company, these are questions that we feel are answers that you guys deserve, is what I'm getting at, I guess.
Yeah, our whole thing is that we want to be transparent.
Yeah.
And the more we can do to be transparent, obviously the better for everybody. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to be as transparent as we possibly can. And that includes, showing what we do reseller wise, what's on the website, why is our pricing the way it is, things like that. Because again, we don't add much fluff.
So I think Mark and I have ranted long enough about the subject. Let's go to you guys. What questions do you have about our site? Don't name any name. You can talk about Coastal Crypto all you want, because we're giving you guys permission. But without naming names, what are some concerns or thoughts or questions you have with our site and our services compared to other suppliers that are out there? What would you like to see from us? Are there questions about the way things are handled behind the scenes, whether it be shipping? Now's the time. The floor is open to you guys. Whether you're here in the live stream now or you're watching this video later on, comment down below or shoot us a message on Discord, Twitter, Odyssey. Where else are we located? Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
So, we'll open up the floor to you guys. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. I'm sure a few of you are typing, maybe have a few questions for us. Transparency is very important to Mark and I. So please don't be shy. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We'll do our best to answer you honestly, even if it doesn't paint us in the best light. We always try to answer the questions positively. I'm gonna jump over to Discord and see if we got anything on Discord. Nothing on Discord. Nothing on Twitter yet. You guys got no questions. You're completely satisfied with our service.
I mean, here's one right here, right? Mining. Let's see. Well, the customer service that comes with your products is worth it.
Appreciate
Here we go.
Here you go.
Oh, you just took it off, and I just took it off, and then you just took it off.
Would like to get a sticker when I order. You should. I do my best to toss stickers into every order. So if you didn't get one, I apologize, Gandalf. I'll make sure you get a few of them. I think we still have your address on file, so I'll go ahead and send you some anyways. If you didn't get any. We have a couple stickers. The plain Coastal Crypto one, like behind me. We had some hollow foil ones as well, and some other ones. I'll send them all to you.
So I've been GPU mining for a few years. ASICs are on my radar. Can't afford them at the moment. As I look around, you made this short list of reputable ASIC companies with transparent shipping. Oh, wow. I appreciate that. Where did we get that short list? Where's that short list? Also, if you are into ASICs, we have helped other miners out in starting the process of getting an ASIC. So if you want to hit us up and just say, what you're looking for, or just give us some idea, we're always here to help. I think that's been our biggest thing. We're always here to help. So we can try to figure out some type of solution to at least open the door for you. So if you think you feel you're ready, but monetarily it just doesn't look comfortable for you, let's have a conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I got to throw this banner up here real quick before I say what I'm going to say next. Not that one. It's already running. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not financial advice. Not financial advice. If you have a budget in mind, we can help find you. I mean, Mark and I do not like to talk ROI. It's not in the realm of crypto space right now. And if you're thinking ROI, or if you're looking at ROI, you need to get away from that mindset. We understand return on investment. We understand that you're trying to get the most bang for your buck. We can help you, guide you down the road for resources, if you will, for doing your own research. Kind of direct you towards a couple of machines, maybe in your budget, and you can come to a conclusion on your own. But a lot of guys, I have to say it again, get away from thinking ROI.
It's not in the cards right now.
No, it's not in the cards right now. And Mark and I, we're guilty of talking ROI at the beginning of our journey as well. And I understand that's a huge thing when it comes to investing a lot of money in crypto space. But, set a goal for yourself, set a budget, and focus on the coins and the ecosystem and what the future holds for that particular coin. Mark and I are very script heavy. We love Doge. We love Litecoin. We're solo mining Caspa. We like the direction that Cadena is going. We're worried about the KA3s. These are things that are constantly in conversation between Mark and myself and Aaron and a few others in closed circles. But you can reach out to us on Patreon for private conversations, or email us for private conversations, or Discord. If you kind of want to say, hey, look, I have X amount. This is what I'm looking at. What are your thoughts? We can kind of point you in the direction and give you some resources. It's difficult. It's a very tight rope we have to walk because, like it says at the bottom, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. We're in a brand new space, a brand new ecosystem that revolves around cryptocurrency, whether it be considered a commodity, a luxury, a currency, a security, whatever it may be.
Let me give you a good example of
Please.
of why we're not, we don't like to have the conversation, or even when ROI decides, someone's bringing it up like, well, ROI is too long, or, oh, it's amazing the way, the ROI that this one has, right? Where we just veer away like that's, we don't care about ROI. For one example, when I first started getting into Doge mining, I bought an L3. That's how my experience started with Doge mining. This was shortly before before I met John, and I bought the L3 for $250, which at this point they're going for, I think, around that same marker. And lo and behold, within a month and a half, Doge went through the roof. That miner paid itself off in less than 30 days. When I initially looked at it, 250 was probably a year's worth of time for an actual ROI. And I just wanted to mine Doge, so I didn't really care how long it took to ROI. I just wanted to start stacking my bag. So to give that example, like it happened immediately, oh my God, like this machine now is paid off and it's just doing its thing. We have bought Bitcoin miners. We have bought LT5s, other Dogecoin miners. And we know we are not going to see an ROI on some of that. So we bought at the top of the market, and we know we're not going to see an ROI on that for at least a year and a half. So when it comes to the ROI, and especially now that we're in the full-blown bear market, things are going sideways, it's reasonable to just, what does the future look like? And if I'm comfortable with how I think it's going to be, because again, we're not financial advisors. You got to do your own research, blah, 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 blah. All the YouTube scams get whatever. If you feel positive, right, and you like the ecosystem of the token or coin that you're looking at, then that's your selling. That's you're selling yourself, is what I'm saying. Like ROI doesn't exist. Like you're stacking your bag. There are so many people that we've talked to in with doing Coastal Crypto, since our DMs are open and things like that, that when we're talking to them, like they're getting these box miners, and have been extremely vocal about these box miners and just saying, no, do not get them. Even though we have a handful of them for testing reasons and to see what they're like. And the whole reason we know not to get them is because
if you're a hobbyist and you're looking at the technology behind mining, and you're going to tear these machines apart, and you're going to be looking at the code and solo mining and pool development, they are great.
They're amazing learning. I was getting to that, but yes, they're amazing learning. They're amazing learning tools. But if you're looking to scale, you're looking to do your thing, similar to like us, where we started a mine, we're going full scale with it. They are not something that's going to be making a profit or an ROI. So then that's one of the reasons we don't like to have the conversation. Let's see, Sadie. We have a direct relationship with that company. So if you want to, again, just hit us up whenever you're ready. We can get you a price and go from there. We have Coastal Crypto Mining. So as someone, there you go. Yeah. First, let's see, who's trying to scale up and prep for a massive scaling in the next bear market. What is the most beneficial thing on your scaling up journey? One thing that I took note of, and we are struggling to maintain this path just because we are still growing, is accumulate in the bear market with any way, however that looks like. Focus on infrastructure in the bull market. Accumulate in the bear market. Focus on infrastructure in the bull market. It's probably the most solid piece of advice that I can give. Now, me and John are in a unique situation because we started in the bull market. We were working on infrastructure and scaling at the same time. And however, infrastructure was really more of the main facet, and it still kind of is, unfortunately, because we've moved, jumped, we grew out of where we jumped to, and now we're working on another solution to get more power. So we're still working on the infrastructure stuff, preparing ourselves for the next bull bear evolution.
Yeah.
So accumulate is, if we're focusing specifically on the bear market right now, accumulate. Even if you can't mine on whatever you're buying, or if you're just accumulating token or coin, stack it. Not financial advice. Let's see. There we go. I think business will pick up for you as the big mining companies stabilize and the home miner holiday credit cards are paid off. Well, and that's the thing. We're not busy. We're just really, at the beginning of this, we were just really ranting because we're having the same conversation multiple times a day, unfortunately. So we definitely are not slowing down. Like, so I get asked this question a lot too. People are like, so how's the crypto world? It seems like everything's down. And I'm like, yeah, everything is, things don't look very positive when you're just looking at numbers. And then they're like, well, how's mining? And I'm like, well, those that are in the scene, they're buying, and they're buying at scales that are unfathomable. So that's just the thing. Like, the big guys know, they know the plan. Like, they are buying, and they're buying at paces that it's very hard to believe.
Just to give you guys an idea, and I know without me naming names and everything else, it may be difficult to believe, but we're having conversations with people, with other companies that are looking to scale out. And these are privately owned farms. This isn't Riot. This isn't some of the other big farms that you guys hear all over the news that are going, that are building or going under. I'm talking privately owned mining farms, like Coastal Crypto, how we started, privately owned individuals or a group of individuals that are not public at all. Then they're looking for 100 plus megawatts worth of space and deployment. And we got, a list as long as my arm of people that are looking to get into the space, 30 megawatts, 40 megawatts, 100 megawatts, 180 megawatts. It's not slowing down on the high end side of mining. People are going all out. One of the biggest things that that Mark and I are gearing up for, that I think is going to be a huge turning point for 2023, is firmware. I think we're going to see a huge launch, or a huge, upgradability for a lot of different miners when it comes to firmware, which is going to be some very interesting network difficulties being increased, especially with new miners and then new firmware for old miners. It's going to be a very interesting market, I think.
It's going to be the scene when Hive started to pick up ASICs, and you had Hive OS that you could flash to an S9 and an L3. It's going to be like that, at that level, for the S19, the Watts Miners 150T, things like that.
It's just a matter of time. We know that it's being developed. We know that there's a company that we are in direct communication with, and when they are ready for us to divulge their name, you guys will be the first ones to know it. But they will fly out to you, or you send the machines to us and we can send it to them. They will physically plug into your machines and tune them for you for the best optimal setting. Their own custom firmware. This isn't a firmware that is going to be released. This is a private firmware that is coming very soon to you guys from us.
Here's one thing. Do you think buying a KD Light miner is good to run if you have free electricity? Any miner is good to run if you have free electricity. So that is 100% profit with or whatever. That's 100% mining of a coin without having to pay electricity. So that is a very simple question. Thank you, Gandalf. Yes, please hit the likes. We appreciate that you guys are watching this during the live stream. I know these videos usually pick up a little bit more after the fact, but I appreciate that you guys are actually stopping by and hanging out. All right. What do you guys think that the BTC hash rate will be next bull run? Can you clarify that a little bit? We already hit another all-time high for total hash rate on the actual blockchain. So are you talking about in total, or are you talking about like the next best thing with a miner, or you can give a little bit more detail on that network hash rate?
We have some key things to look at. We got some new miners down in the pipeline.
Yeah, so there's some new ones. They're doing 250 plus. Who knows what's miner will compete against that with their next best thing. So yeah, network hash rate after the halving, expect it to double. That's the only thing I can think of. Think about. I mean, even still, like it is just epic right now. But after the halving, I would expect it to at minimum double. So it's going to get harder to mine. People are going to refuse to shut off. Like after this next halving, I think it's going to be very unique, because once this next halving comes, like we're almost to 1 BTC per 1 block. Think about it. Like we are 6 years away from that actually happening, about roughly. So, and then after that, dude, then we're like less than 1 BTC per block that's mined. Like FOMO, honestly, I think FOMO is really going to kick in after this next bull market. Again, not financial advice, not financial advisors, but if you really think about it, we're going from 6 BTC, which it's now sitting, just under 20K. It's been floating sideways at 16, 17, whatever. Yeah, if you think about it, dude, it's going to drop down to 3 and some change, right? 3.25, I think, or something like that per block. Like it is going to get so competitive and hard to mine Bitcoin after this next halving. FOMO is really going to set in, and I don't like comparing it to price because 1 BTC is 1 BTC, but there's going to be a lot of FOMO. I think personally. I'm some guy on the internet. Don't
two major competitors out there for BTC mining. That's Antminer and WhatsMiner. They got the bigger hashing machines that are out there. And another thing you got to consider is there's already development for the 5 nanometer chip. We went from 14 to 7, and now we've got 5 coming up very soon. Will they release that chip prior to the bull market, or are they going to wait for the bull market to launch that 5 nanometer chip? And that's going to be a huge increase in efficiency when they launch those 5 nanometer chips for these ASICs. And are they going to go full immersion and do away with air-cooled machines? So there's other factors that will skew that network hash rate, I think, that really hasn't been brought to light. I mean, I'm talking in theory. I'm talking, kind of out of the side of my mouth here, when it comes to some of these chips. But following Moore's law, following what we've seen in the past, the history, and what we've seen from Bitmain and WhatsMiner and Goldshell, they hold back technology until it's best for them to release it. Yeah. So cryptocurrency is decentralized, but they hold the machines that allow us to be involved in cryptocurrency. So it'll be interesting.
So with potential firmware updates, how's the noise comparison between cheaper boxes like the L3 and S9? So that's a good question, because there's already the newer firmware that we were just talking about that is in process of being built. I don't think that's going to be really scalable on the L3s, S9s. But if you're like talking like Hive, it's actually pretty good. It already, like currently, you flash Hive onto, or you can even do like Awesome Miner or other miners, any miner that can really give you fan control. And if you're in a room you have your machine in a room that's not sweltering hot, basically molten lava all around the room, you could cut the fan speed down a little bit in theory, and reduce the decibels. There are other modifications too that I'm not really a fan of out there, just because it requires more monitoring of the machine. But there are other like quiet fans that'll do 3,000 RPMs that you can get and stick those on there. They're 4-pin connectors, go right on there, and you're off to the market with it. But just alone with the stock fans that come on it, if you're not really going balls to the wall with the hash rate and overclocking the machine, which you don't want to do that right now anyways on an L3 or an S9, it's just not feasible. It's not worth it in my opinion. Unless you have free power, then that's different. And let it scream. But beyond that,
you've done a review and we've talked about it before about the Noctua fans.
yeah. So that's one of the modifications that I'm not really a fan of. The control board for some reason doesn't really like the Noctua fans when the machine decides it wants to hiccup. And that's a regular occurrence on the L3 and the S9s. And when I say hiccup, it just means like, it has a spike in power somewhere or something, just it goes off for just a split second and then it goes back to its normal speed. But what happens is it'll like reset any modifications that you made to the fans, or it'll reset any like tuning, like you may have to like auto tune again or put a tune in there manually.
So an issue, just what we're talking on fans that you may arise, and I'm going off a theory here. I'm not going off of something that's been tested. So if you've tested this, let me know. I know Mark has done a little bit of testing with the Noctua fans, but the typical 120 millimeter ASIC mining fans, they actually have their own built-in circuit board within the fan underneath the bearings. Now those fans in there communicate with the control boards. And if you have one fan that doesn't spin the same speed as the other, I mean, you in essence have something that could generate its own power. So if you have one fan pushing another fan, you could have a reverse charge to a control board, and that may be an issue for the control board, and that's why you may be seeing issues with some of these quieter fans that don't have the built-in integrated circuit boards within the fans themselves. The ASIC fans themselves, they have this circuit board will stop generating power if one is spinning faster than the other, and won't allow backfeeding to the circuit board. So it's kind of a built-in fail-safe. And when you're upgrading your fans, got to be careful of that, or you got to be careful of wires that are maybe disconnected or clipped on some of your fans. Fans will run on 2 wires alone, but the other 2 wires are communicating with the control board to control the speed, to control the backfeed of the airflow. So just be careful with doing some of these fan modifications. The ASIC fans are there for a reason.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I say, like, instead of going out and buying like Noctua fans that are known to be quiet and like the 3,000 RPM ones, just go into Hive settings. It's in the Miners GUI, and click the fan override button and just set the fans to 50, 60%. And you will notice a very drastic noise level difference right off the bat. And you won't have that if the machine hiccups, it just keeps running. So let's see here. Great firmware. Okay, so that was hers. And then let's do Gandalf's real quick. And then let's talk about cloud mining and what makes CCM different. And then let's get into demining's conversation, or his request.
Okay.
I have to look at that. Yeah, there we go. When you say go away from air-cooled machines, are you talking about the enclosed liquid ASICs that's like the current Bitmain ones?
So before we get into this conversation, there's 2 types of hydro and immersion style machines. You have the XP Hydro and the What's Miner Hydros. Okay, those are not immersion machines. Those are encapsulated water blocks on the ASIC chips. They are not, they sell it to you as one package, but you need a bigger infrastructure to run them properly. Now, the infrastructure after the water blocks is very similar to the infrastructure you will need for something like immersion tanks. Immersion
Yeah.
tanks, you're dropping the whole machine into the fluid, doing fan deletes and so on, different control boards and running them. So they're two different beasts, if you will, but the underlying cooling factor, using dry coolers, using that infrastructure, are very similar. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I mean, just to specifically answer his question. So when you say going away from air cooled machines, so yeah, I mean, I think Bitmain, I don't think Hydro's the answer specifically because Bitmain still has a customer base of hobbyists, and to ask hobbyists to make an immersion setup or do some type of closed loop system with a dryer, it's not the answer for their main base of aftermarket. So we'll see some different things out there that may not really be air cooled. I don't 100% want to say like it's not going to be systems that are like water blocks and things like that, but it's definitely, I think that they're going to be moving a little bit further away from just 4 fans on a machine, especially as we get into these higher levels of terahash on Bitcoin mining.
It'll be cool to see, Bitcoin or ASIC mining pool heaters or hot water heaters for your house, or radiators
Which,
for that mine Bitcoin. I know we've
yeah,
seen a couple of them here and there, but to see them, in 10 years be a commonplace in all households, it'll be really cool.
I'm honestly waiting to see like the Bitmain water heater, right? Like that needs to be a thing. It just needs to be a thing. Like there's no reason
Just a
to,
giant water heater with ASIC chips around it.
yeah, dude. There's no reason to have a electric water heater. Well, that would be electric. That would replace the electric water heater, but there's no reason to have a gas water heater anymore. Like it doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, cloud mining. Let's jump into that real quick, and then we'll go. Or he's hiding. Um, yes. So as we're creating the CCM token, and we've already launched it and things like that, and we're trying to explain to you guys what it's supposed to be doing, and the aspects of it are very similar to what you would consider cloud mining, right? For the exception of, we're going to show you the machine that it's connected to, and or that you're connected to with your token, and your rewards all on chain and all that fun stuff. Well, we've seen some of our competitors; they are starting to pull out the old cloud mining card again. Not to give like specific examples, but they're it's similar to like eBay mining. If you see a contract out there on eBay that they were really out there in the heyday on in the bull market, you get certain amount of hash for a certain period of time. You got to pay a fee, and so we were doing some math today, and this really, we were having conversations and going back and forth on how all this stuff works, right? Earlier, which triggered this live stream. We were going back and forth and seeing, okay, what are some of our competitors charging to host machines, right? And there's a lot of aspects out there. One, we noticed they had a certain setup fee, which we do. We have that. If you host with us, I don't think CCM token really is going to have that. That will be facilitated through acquiring the token, but they have a setup fee, and then you got to pay for 3 months up front at 11 cents per kilowatt hour for a specific machine.
Or
And
10
we
cents
were,
for 12 months or whatever it may be.
yeah, whatever the period of time is. And so we were doing the math. We're like, okay, well, what is that? So we have an S19 that's 104 terahash. It's running at almost 3,100 watts, right? And so we calculate that out. Okay, what is that after 3 hours or 3 hours, 3 months? And we're like, oh, okay. but what's the payout after power for that, right? And so we're like trying to figure, what does that look like in comparison to like what were we saying, John?
No, let's just do the math. Let's just, so everyone can see the math. So I'm going to share my screen again here. Let me see if I can pull it up. There we go. So this is Coin Wars calculator. We're just going to use the S19J Pro 104 terahash machine as an example. These are all reference numbers. Don't take these to heart. It's going to be different tomorrow than it is today, and so on. But we're just giving you guys an example of why cloud mining concerns us from this standpoint. From this blind subscription style cloud hosting or hosting service, and then that's kind of what we're looking at. I mean, Mark and I had the conversation of doing it this way. We have the availability to do it this way and do a subscription style hosting service. That's why our hosting service is month to month. You want to turn them off, you want to turn them on. It's your equipment. You send us your equipment or you buy your equipment from us. That is it. You see it, you know it's there, you know it's on. That's our hosting contract. Very cookie cutter, very straightforward. We don't want to touch your machines more than we have to. We don't want to control your pools. We don't want to see where you're sending your machines or set up your wallets. They're your machines. We're just turning them on for you. That's what we're trying to get to. That's why we got away from the whole subscription-based style of hosting and the cloud subscription-based style of hosting for a 3-month, for a 12-month period. So let's look at a 3-month period. There's a company out there, not going to name names. They are right around 11 cents per kilowatt hour per 3-month period. You have to pay that up front. You have to pay 3 months up front. So we're looking at the 104 terahash, 3,100 watts roughly for the S19J Pro. After power consumption, that is only a take home today of $2.80 after you pay an $8.18 electrical fee. Now, these numbers are all theoretical because you're paying up front for a machine that you don't know exists. Cloud mining.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So let's conspiracy theory. Let's put our tinfoil hats on, right? Let me pull up the big boy calculator here.
I think I have a hat in here. Let me. Maybe I don't.
So right around $810, $820, $830, whatever be, right in that $800 to $850 range is what they're charging for a 3-month hosting contract. There's a couple of companies out there that do that, to do this kind of setup. So what's not to say they take your money, they put it in a account, and they have an automated program that pays you out the equivalent of what you're supposed to be earning in Bitcoin. Never have to turn on a machine, never have to use the electricity cost, never have to set up the infrastructure. The machine doesn't even have to exist. So at $2.80 times 90 days, an $800, $850 investment for 3 months is only going to get you a $252 return. Now, again, this goes back to our earlier conversations about ROI. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. So you're getting that equivalent in Bitcoin, yes. And it could skyrocket, and it would cause massive catastrophic failure in a system that may or may not be implemented for a hosting company that's doing this way, right? So they have you give them your $800, they turn on your machine, and they give you a payout every month or every day based upon your hashing power. They're profiting not just the difference between the 252, but whatever else they're doing with your money, because they're not turning on that machine for you. That machine doesn't exist. You know, am I making sense or am I off track here, Mark? I mean, my tinfoil hat might be on a little too tight.
That's the thing. Like, if they're not showing you the machine, if they're not showing you the serial number, then that is exactly the problem. That it could be a non-existent machine. They're just putting in there, and it's just cloud mining. You know?
Mining on hopes and dreams.
Yes, exactly.
You hope that machine is there. You dream of that machine being on for you, and you dream of that Bitcoin coming in, every single day. But you don't know, and it's a very, very scary thing. And one of the bigger things that we are trying to avoid with CCMT token, with coastal crypto mining, two separate entities, two separate type of hosting scenarios, and we want to avoid this cloud mining thought process completely.
So let me ask you this, John. How does CCM token fix it?
So, number one, you're going to get the serial number for the machine, right? Number two, it's a wrapped payout, right? Polygon network wrapped payout for your earnings. And it's not a subscription based system. You're not buying into it for 3 months. You're buying. You can get in and out of it as often or as infrequently as you want. We're not locking you in except for, say 30-day contract just to keep the machine on. But it's a physical machine. That serial number will be tied to that contract. We're on the blockchain. We're on the network. Everything is going to be tied to itself. The serial number, your wallets, what you're locking up for CCM tokens, it will all be within that block, within that smart contract for that very specific machine.
Well,
that's how we're avoiding this.
What do they always say? What do they always say in crypto, right?
Not your coin, not your coins, not your wallet, not your coins.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, all the YouTubers say that, but it's always don't trust, verify, right?
Yeah.
Don't trust, verify. CCM token, the way that CCM token will fix cloud mining is that it will be on chain. So if something isn't happening, we know about it. If something is happening, we know about it. And so the whole thing that triggered this is we're looking at our competitors and figuring out, how they're hosting, what they're doing to host and things like that. And when it comes to hosting, we are very competitive compared to some of the other bigger guys in the scene. And we're striving our hardest to get even more competitive so we can compete with the guys in the scene, right? The big guys. But then there are, not to name names, but there are other companies that are on the similar scale size of us.
Well, I think we can name one name because they've gone belly up. Genesis Mining. I think I spoke over you, so I don't think anybody heard you. Genesis Mining they're still around, kind of, but they got in huge trouble for cloud mining. You would use cryptocurrency to buy blocks or buy power, which is illegal to do, by the way, in the United States. You cannot, if you're not a licensed power supplier or distributor, you cannot sell power. Can't do it. We don't sell power at Coastal Crypto. We sell a hosting service. Huge difference. We just you're using power kilowatt hours to it's in the equation to figure out what your monthly rent is. That's it. We don't sell power. Genesis, they were selling power and selling it and taking cryptocurrency as payment. They were selling power that they didn't have. They were selling equipment in space that they didn't have. And a number of times, 2017, 2016, where their site crashed and you couldn't log in. I was part of Genesis mining. I tried it out. I tested it. My counts are gone. They just disappeared. So they got in big trouble for doing stuff like this, and we're trying to avoid those mistakes. What we have is what we have. We're not over promising. We're not over delivering. This is the machine that we're offering. It may be one, it may be two. First come, first serve. That is it. We're taking it slow. We're building it out. We're on chain verification, keeping it as safe as we possibly can, avoiding the mistakes that our predecessors have made.
Yeah. Everybody got a laugh out of that when we said two different companies. That was pretty funny. That was pretty hilarious. So one question came up. We'll get in this question, and then we'll move on to some of the other questions that we were asked. Have you decided on what ASIC you're going to start with? Have to make sure I have enough CCMT to get in. Just keep stacking for sure. Again, we need to get to 100 wallets so we can also start doing our airdrop. The airdrop, we hit 100, we give out 100 CCM token. It's just going to automatically, as we kind of escalate until we get to a certain point. So just, again, keep stacking, tell your friends, get at least one CCM token in a decentralized wallet. But yes, so it is definitely going to be an S19 as the guinea pig. It actually might be more than one. We're slowly working on and trying to figuring it out. So just bear in there with us. We are probably going to be asking a handful for beta. So, or would that wouldn't be alpha, right? That would be beta. It would be our guinea pigs.
Yeah, guinea pig.
Yeah. And our mice in the maze. Once we get to that point, we'll put a feeler out there on our Discord channel, and you guys can, we'll basically be pulling names out of a hat or doing some type of ticker or whatever it is.
Yeah, we can do a poll on Twitter,
Yeah.
YouTube, and Discord for everybody.
Yeah, and you will have to lock up the CCM token that you have. We still don't know what the amounts are because prices change on S19s daily, but we're going to figure that out. So what we're right now just waiting for the contract to be built. Our dev is getting distracted with shiny objects on what he's trying to put into the contract. Now, I'm not trying to poke or anything like that. I'm just, it's funny, the conversation that we had earlier when we were kind of talking about it. But he's working on the actual contract. We hope to have it live before the end of Q1, so we can start our guinea pig process.
Yeah, we have another site update coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So we're progressing. We're moving forward.
Yeah. So we don't exactly know the exact date yet within Q1, but it definitely is going to be in Q1. We have that going. All right. So we had one question, and I actually shared this with you already, John, on our private chat. But hey, can we talk about Gold Shell Hub?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll pull it up.
It's our normal login stuff. So if you want to go and use that, which we don't have anything.
I put it someplace. So I pulled it up, and it's showing no miners. Do you have miners linked to it?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
Let's talk about what it looks like to us and what we think it is. I think that's really the question. Like, let's talk about Gold Shell Hub. Let's got a Gold Shell fanboy in the chat, DM mining. So let's see. He's basically a mascot for this. They're probably the first mascot over Gold Shelly or whatever they call him. So to me, what this looks like Hive OS's version of ASIC Hub.
Yeah, I agree.
So it'll give you your miners, what's going on.
Yeah, it's very clean. It's very well put together. But Gold Shell is a fairly large company, so they have the development team to do it. ASIC Hub with Hive OS. Hive is in terms of Gold Shell, would be considered smaller. This is very nice, clean form factor.
Gives you all their
Product
products.
info.
Yeah.
What's that?
So it gives all their products and everything.
Yep. Yeah, gives all the products. I mean, you can set your kilowatt payout. So we're currently at the farm. We're at what, 9 cents or 10 cents?
9 cents.
9 cents. Had to make sure. Don't want to misspeak. So you can see some of the machines, USD payout, so on, electrical ratio. I mean, and I think what they mean by electrical ratio is the efficiency of the machine versus the payout.
How funny is it that the LT5 Pro is more efficient than the LT6? How hilarious is that?
But for someone who is stacking,
something's wrong. How do you make $10 after what is something's not right here.
it's like what we were talking about. It's it comes down to stacking. Someone that's going to get an LT6, it may not be as efficient.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between an LT6 and an LT5 is the number of chips on the boards.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. So they're very similar power supplies, same control board. There's not a whole lot of difference between the LT6 and the LT5, to be completely honest with you. The only difference is going to be your payout. And when I say payout, it's one Doge for one Doge, one Litecoin's one Litecoin.
Yeah.
You're going to stack far more Doge and Litecoin with the LT6 than you are with the LT5 Pro. But
it looks
you can overclock those.
Yeah, it looks like they have an API issue. So they might have to look into that. No, but yeah, this is if you've ever used any of these hubs, a lot of people, especially in the chat right now, they're GPU miners. HiveOS, it essentially is a hub for everybody in their mining. But HiveOS also has a separate hub so you can monitor machines that they don't support with their firmware. This basically looks like it is their Gold Shell's version of that. It only does Gold Shell machines based on kind of what I'm looking at. But yeah, it's just
what this is?
It's a monitor.
This is a web login GUI version of their Yoda IP scanner.
Well, there's also another website called find.goldshell.com that is that specific thing.
Huh.
Here, let me can I share my screen or no?
You should be able to. Hold on, let me delete mine. Go ahead.
Well, let me pull it up first. I guess that would help, right?
Kind of. And yes, rapid mining. We need more people in the stream, please. we do this randomly, so we
don't try. We put an agenda out there, but we don't really stick to it. So here we go. Find.goldshell.com. It literally is the Yo Gabba Gabba thing that Gold Shell has you download and put on your server.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, I think. But no, so that's just it's a hub, so you can monitor. It's a monitoring system. DM mining. I know that you're a huge fanboy of Gold Shell, and you have quite the collection of Gold Shell miners. I would definitely give it a shot. See what capabilities are in there. It should be a good monitoring tool for all your Gold Shell equipment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have a mix of miners, but that may be beneficial for us to use because right now we use for our Gold Shell type stuff. Gold Shell has their own IP scanner. I don't know if I have it installed on this machine. I do. Let me move it over. Share my screen here.
Yeah.
At the stream. Okay. So it's Yoda BC is Gold Shell's IP scanner, and it will only pull up Gold Shell specific IPs. It allows you to do everything that we just saw within that Gold Shell web hub This one is specific to your machine, though. This is a software that you download on your machine or to a server. So what we do typically is we remote into our server over at the farm, and this is pre-installed on our server. This allows you to change your hash modes. It allows you to see debugs. It allows you to see different codes. But kind of it looks like they took this and find goldshell.find, whatever, and they combined them and put them into the Gold Shell Hub. That's what it kind of looks like to me. So, I mean, I'll play with it. I mean, if I can do it without having to remote into the castle server, and I can just pull it up on here, it may be a little bit faster response, and I may get some more detailed information. I'm willing to try it. Absolutely. Just we have so many different machines going on that we use Foreman as our main monitoring system. So,
and that still has its limits. Like we can't put the L1 on there. There's some. No, I think we did. We were able to put the L1 on there. There were a couple other different machines that we have that we can't put on there. Well, what else you guys got? What do we got going on?
So look at Rapid Mining's last. There's your answer on the LT6.
Yeah. It seems like that the website itself has an API issue because it was showing more profit than it was actually mining. I think one day at some point, like we're going to get past the fiat standard and we'll finally be on some different type of scale. And we'll start seeing, like mine the ASIC or ASIC miner value, things like that. They'll be on a different scale of what actual profitability looks like comparative to, probably a different coin, honestly.
What I would like to see moving forward for Coastal Crypto and CCMT token is on our main resale site is, yes, we're going to have USDT because that's obviously a standard, but I want to have the Dogecoin price of the machine. I want to have the Litecoin price of the machine. If it's a Litecoin miner, if it's a BTC miner, you have the BTC value of the machine. And then, of course, CCMT token value for the machine. For all of our listings would be very, very cool to see. It'd take a lot of work and a lot of coding because those numbers would have to change all the time as the market moves. Yes, the USD value would probably stay the same or be the most consistent one because we all know how frequently the crypto market fluctuates in prices, but it would be very cool to see, Antminer S19J Pro 2050 or $2,050, and then 0.00 or 0.2 Bitcoin or whatever it is underneath, and then 13,000 CCMT tokens, whatever the value is, and so on.
Yeah. Let's see what we have here. You guys think you could take a look at an iPolo SE if I send it your way? Yes, we can look at it. Depending on what's actually wrong, we may not be able to repair it.
I look at lots of things all day long.
Yeah. I'll look at it right now. Let's see. No, yeah, we can look at it, dude. I think we've had that conversation in DMs before. I really would like to troubleshoot it with you personally while it's still with you, just to see what we can do. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you need to send it to us and we got a monkey with it, we can take it to a point. If we can't, we know a company that does repair ASIC machines. That's just what they do out of Miami. And we can send it to them if that's something you want to look at, if we can't fix it. All right. So this question, can you talk more on upcoming firmware? So yeah, there's a lot of different things with firmware that's coming out with the current ones that are out there right now. The companies that are private and they're working on their stuff and relationships that we're building that are actually building firmware as well. And then like the big guys, they already have their own firmware. Like Foundry, they have their own firmware. They have their own pool. You got to be, accepted into their pool, and they can help you overclock whatever systems, machines, things like that. I think at the end of the day, for the little guy, the hobbyist, things like that, Hive's going to be the go-to. Hive, ASIC, FW. Who else is out there? Brains for definitely for Bitcoin miners, Brains. But I think just for like a vast variety to help you keep your farm in check as an entirety, I think Hive is probably going to be that one that stands out the most. Are they the best on firmware? I mean, all firmwares have their negative and positive flows. But Hive's always going to have their guarantee. They're going to shoot for 20% increase of efficiency, in some way, shape, or form, whether that's undervolting or overvolting. And they have the most variety of machines.
Plus, their customer service is pretty on point. I mean, we've built a relationship with Hive because we have Hive on a lot of ASICs and we have Hive on all of our GPUs. Not just so we use it on both sides of the farm, but they have been on point with customer service with us. We have a good relationship with a group of guys that works within Hive, whether it be developer. One of them is a developer with Hive, I believe. One of them is specific for the web side of Hive, and then the other guy is kind of our liaison. And we get tons of information from them. We know that they're working on AM Logic, BTC, Antminer, control board, AM Logic firmware. We know that's coming down the pipeline. We know that they're working on L7 firmware. They are really working hard to get the most out of these machines for the hobbyist. It seems to me that they're very geared for the hobbyist. And they're trying to be as well-rounded as they possibly can. Brains, we know they have, Slush Pool is no longer Slush Pool. It's now Brains Pool. And they have their own, they do What's Miners, they do Antminer. But right now it's mainly BTC miners. And I'm and to be honest, Brains is hit or miss for me. I honestly would refer to do Hive. I've seen a lot of tunes fall off with Brains firmware and not come back or not tuned properly. The Brains firmware for me, and this is just, I mean, in the 50 some odd machines that I have tuned for Brains, because Brains is a popular machine, popular firmware, I'd say a little more than 50%, closing 60% of the machines don't tune the first time you try to tune them using Brains. They completely fall off and it goes NA and doesn't give you any hash rate at all. And it takes forever. It takes a couple hours for Brains to tune in an S19. But to give Brain credit where credit is due, and to kind of give them a little bit of a break. It may not be on them. It could be silicone lottery. It could be control board lottery, and that could be the issue. Hive OS has multi-tiered versions of their flashable SD running firmware for the S19s. Brains only has one or two that run on a wide gamut of S19s, S19Js, S19J Pros. So it sometimes it just doesn't jive, and I'm ranty because I've had a lot of headaches with these machines, but I hope they step up their game. I really do. And I hope we get some more companies, private companies like Foundry, like the guys that we're talking to, that hopefully we can convince them to allow us to, release it to you guys.
Yeah. And so if that's really what your question was geared to, talk more about upcoming firmware. The company that we're working with, not to be named for the current time being, just because we are on an NDA with them and working on a business agreement with them. They are working on a firmware that's specific to BTC mining on the S19s. So they're going to be able to accomplish a lot of things that Hive is doing when it comes to efficiency, probably even better in some cases,
I believe
without
so.
actually having to modify the firmware on the actual machine. Like they're going to be doing it in Bitmain's GUI uh, and going that route. So it's very unique in how they explained it to us and what they're working on. I'm very excited for it, especially as someone, we have, BTC miners at the pool or at the farm. So that'll be uh, it'll be a good firmware, I think, just based on what they're saying and telling us so far. But like John said, Hive's coming out with the L7. Let's see what else is on the works. What else do we know that let's see, we've asked Hive to do a couple other machines, especially ones that we sell on our website that are used a little older. We are waiting for someone to give some aftermarket firmware for gold shell machines. Honestly, like it is about time. I think they're big enough, right? That gold shell's big enough to where like one of these bigger companies can take on
And they
the
take a beating.
challenge. Yeah, they
They
do.
can take the tune.
They can.
I'm over here manually tuning and trying different frequencies, and who knows what kind of settings I'm putting into these machines, and it's
Yeah.
taking it and having no issues. Um, so it'd be nice to see a firmware like Hive, like ASIC FW, that can go into a gold shell machine and tune each individual chip to the proper frequency for optimum performance. If you guys watch my latest video on the X6S teardown, and we go in and we go to the back door and we tune it to 800 megahertz, I think I did. It's across the board of all the chips. It's just a flat tune. There's no dynamic tuning like Hive has, like ASIC FW, like Brains. It's a flat tune, not a dynamic tune, which goes into each individual chip. So yes, I would like to see that, Mark.
Yeah. So is Hive going to be doing the X5? We have asked. We don't know 100%. So we can't talk on behalf of Hive, obviously, but we specifically have asked them to see if they can do it. We have yet to hear from the developer on it yet. So y'all are in depth. You got my business. Thank you for the compliment. Let's see here. Yeah, just hit us up. Even before sale, just hit us up. Let us know what's going on, or what your idea is, things like that.
It's Mark. He's Mark. I'm John.
Yeah,
and Aaron.
Not the other way around, like I added earlier.
Yeah. We're on the site. It's our phones are by our heads all night long. Message us on the site, or if you want specific invoicing, or you're looking for a specific machine, we'll help you out.
All right, what else you guys got? AMA time. We just
AMA time.
AMA time. What else we got?
It's too bad. Is D-mining? Are you still around? If you're in our Discord, I want to see your gold shell collection. I've seen a little bit of it when you're talking to Mark on Twitter. Mark and I are both on Twitter, but he does more of the talking than I do, because I'm usually, packaging machines or ultrasonic cleaning X6s and whatever I'm doing throughout the day. But yeah, I want to see this gold shell collection of yours. So if you can drop it over on Discord underneath. Let's see, what's that channel, Mark?
Isn't it equipment and review or?
Yep. Yeah, it's underneath crypto. It's a mining setup and review. Drop a picture there. I want to see what this thing looks like. Yeah, I can even put, I think, invite people. Copy. Paste. There we go. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Spit it out. What do we got? What do we got going on?
I'm just thinking about that 6S, the X6S. It's a mouthful to say. It's got so much potential. It bothers me so much that it's just like the X5. The X6 has so much potential. I don't know why they were skipped over to go to the LT5. LT5 Pros, LT6 Pros aren't bad machines, but I have more headaches with those machines than I do with the X5 ever. I'll drop. No, I'm not saying, but I could drop an X5, plug it in, it would still work. I'm worried if I look at an LT5 wrong, it'll stop working. So
yeah, they do seem fragile. Like the X5, man, that thing is a beast. Like I know, like the ratio. I mean, it's good for the machine that it is on mining, and we can get it to 1 gigahash easily. But it's like that thing runs in extreme temps, like just beyond. So had dude, he was having trouble with the S9 that we sent him, the S10. I mean, we sent him an L. No, he has an L3 there. He had to turn that off. But the X5 just kept going when he was having extreme heat in his farm when he had it on
in
100%.
Texas, right?
Yeah, in Texas. So like that thing just chugs along like crazy. When we were at our first location, we just had this big crypto wall. I don't know if you can go back in the pictures and kind of show that, but we had just this big wall in this small warehouse space, and we had to put a hole in the other side. So basically, we had a cold and a hot aisle, and like these machines were sitting near the wall, the X5s that we had near the wall outside. And you're talking about summertime, it was getting close to like the 100-degree temps, and that wall also was kind of heating up a little bit. One side of our farm was well over 100 degrees, well over 100 degrees.
Yeah, the
And
hot aisle.
you could tell like on the machines, like the temps were wreaking havoc on them, for the exception of the X5s at the time when we had them. It was amazing. I wish we
So
had more.
this is as I was tearing it down. So it's a little ugly, but at least I'll share it with you guys. I know dead silence, not good for streams, but so you can kind of see half the wall here. So we had 3 or 4 rows of ASICs stacked on top of each other with a foam wall insulated wall separating the hot from the cold side. Yeah, it was easily 110, 120 on the hot side, even with a 13,000 CFM fan, exhaust fan. We're glad to be in the location that we're in now. Let's just say put it that way. But these machines, these X5s were in this, and I never had any issues with them, ever. L3s, I had to constantly do hard reboots. S19s, LT5s, always had issues. X5, plug it in, let it do its thing. No issue.
Yeah, it just ran. It was amazing. It's unfortunate that those aren't built that way anymore.
Yeah. I really like the farm built specific machines. I'm sure the L5 had great potential. I just wish people took better care of them. The X5, it's a powerhouse tank. It takes a beating. The X6, another fantastic machine. There is a version, and I'm trying to get my hands on it. Mark and I have kind of talked about it a little bit. There's a version between the S17 and the S19 that Bitmain made that has a hard-mounted power cord. There's no C13, C14 supply. These were specifically built for a farm, and the power cord was hardwired into the power supply, into the miner itself. I want to get one of those machines because I have a sneaky suspicion that those machines are going to be like the X5 and the X6 and just be, robust tanks of a miner. The only thing for me holding back the X6 is the power supply itself.
Yeah, we need to get a 3,000 watt power supply on there, and we need to play with the settings a little bit more. He said, "Holy cow, a 13,000 CFM fan. It was definitely not enough." So we thought it was going to be awesome because the thing, yes, it was. It's get that this picture doesn't even do it justice either. Like when you walk in there, like that's shoulder height to me with them sitting on the chair like that. Like that thing, it's huge. Again, this picture does not do it justice.
This is a 3-phase fan. This isn't something you can plug into like a 240 outlet. No, this is 3-phase power. This thing spun at ridiculous speeds. It's a direct drive, no pulleys. No, you can see the motor there in the middle. This is a direct drive 3-phase fan. It hums. I was worried about it getting sucked out of the wall.
Yeah, now we have it like basically we have it mounted to our retaining. I don't even know what the hell we would call it, like how you set it up now.
So I don't know if I even have pictures of it.
It's in one of your videos. I know that.
So our current facility here, right? One of the current walls is the doors that we have open are 20 by 15 doors. So I had to put a grate system, weld in a grate system, and it's hard bolted to reinforced steel. Great louver system. Didn't use aluminum. I used steel flat bar, reinforced it, and that's what this fan is now mounted to. And it shakes the whole frame at full speed. It ain't no joke.
Mining and equipment, right? Nope. Review, setup review. So yeah, you got that one picture in there. And what else? Oh, I put this out here too, especially since Rabbit's in here. I know DJ Mines was in here too. And basically any YouTubers. I put this on our Twitter just recently. Feedback I'm getting as we do things our way. People want to see inside the machines you're talking about. They want to see the hash boards. They want to see the control board, the fans. They want sizes of fans, things like that. From one video guy to another, like we're not really huge YouTubers, right? But this is what they're asking for. The conversations that I'm having, at least with some of the content watchers that watch you guys, just to give you a heads up. Like they want to see inside in-depth reviews when you're doing like a minor review.
Tear that bitch apart.
Mm-hmm. Void the warranty.
Yep. See you later. Honestly, I probably have a problem. I want to tear everything apart. I want to look inside. I want to see what makes it tick. That's just who I am. Very mechanically inclined person that I am. I want to overclock it. I want to push it. I want to know why it does the things that it does. I'm not a professional anything. I mean, yeah, I was a teacher. I was a welder. Very hands-on. But I'm not. What would I use earlier? I'm not a thermodynamic engineer. Yeah. I'm not an electrical engineer. I know a little bit of that, a lot. So I like to see what makes these things tick. Looking at it, if we go back, we talk about this X6 again. It's very interesting to open that machine up and see those hash boards and the way they've structured their heat sinks alone. Someone may not think about that. I mean, they have a tiered heat sink structure built into these X6s, the engineering that went behind it, because they're only using 2 fans in the front because that control board cannot handle the amperage to control four fans. So what they had to do was they had to create a tiered heat sink profile. The heat sinks in the front are smaller, allowing the larger heat sinks in the back to still be getting hit by the fan or the velocity going through the box. So I love looking at that kind of stuff. I love tearing apart. I love figuring out, how can we improve upon this. These machines, all ASICs, are miniature wind tunnels. Think of it that way. So you have to create as much flow and to create as much space or real estate for the air to touch and pull the heat away. That's what these guys are looking at when they create these machines. So the more they're tightly packed, the more force is going past these machines. I mean, you're creating Venturi effects inside these boxes. It's a miniature wind tunnel. So we want to make sure that we're getting those chips as cool as we possibly can. And this is all what's coming down the line as technology is advancing, as more miners becoming popular. You go back and look at some of the original ASIC machines, those things are nowhere near as heat efficient as some of the machines that we have today, and we're still improving upon it.
Yeah. The grid seed. There you go. It's good example.
What's that?
The grid seed, have you ever seen it?
Yeah. The grid seed. Jesus. I'm excited to get my hands on a bigger power supply that fits within the whole X6 framework, so we can overclock that. We did reach out to Veteran Miner. I believe his link is in the description down below to get some of his cables. We're not sponsored by him. We just support his products because they're an amazing product. One small business to another small business, he's got some awesome products. So we've reached out to him to get some of his cables for the X6 so we can, try pushing the limits a little bit more.
Yeah. Honestly, I really like that collab. Anybody wants to go back and check our video out, once we actually get some of the cables in hand, John's going to be putting them on a machine, and we're going to give them a good what's to. So these particular cables, they should be rated to handle for each PCI connector about 300 watts per. So we should be able to run a decent amount. We had him build this for the Bitmain APW3/7. He's going to be doing some testing on his own once he gets the 7 that we just sent him. But essentially, any of these power supplies that take an I connector, you can actually add those wires to. So I'm pretty excited to see. I have his wires on a lot of our box miners, and they have made them run smoother, I guess you could say. It's handling, like the mini Doge has a real issue with just falling off and stop hashing for no particular reason. It's similar to the L3. I think it's just a script algorithm on just a smaller board, if that makes sense, a smaller hash board. But when it might be just power spikes coming through or something along those lines, but these wires can handle a little bit more than just a generic 18 gauge 6 pin to 6 pin. And yeah, it's made the mini Doge that I have at least a little bit more stable. That makes sense.
One of the things I'm looking forward to doing, because we're starting to liquidate some of them, or some of our clients are starting to liquidate their own equipment. But L3s, you can stack L3s and use one APW3 to run 2 L3s on low hash mode. Using the hash board, I know, the X6, the X5, the L35 has 3 6-pin connectors per hash board. The L3 has 2 6-pin connectors, PCIe ports, connectors. You only need to use one of them. The problem is using the stock cables to do that. You're putting a lot of heat through that one 6-pin PCIe connector. using veteran miners cable, I'm going to feel so much better about doing it in this configuration that an APW 7 or maybe a 2000 watt power supply with his cables can run 3 L3s. And then we're really closing in on lowering that amperage pull on our breakers, because that's in essence what we're doing. We're trying to limit the amount of plug space and amperage draw we have by using one power supply to power 3 machines.
Yep. All right, so we did get a question. Gandalf the Gray. Let's see. What are you guys' thoughts on the future of GPU mining since you guys have graphics cards too? It's dead.
Don't say that.
No, I'm joking. So right now on all of our graphics cards, every single one that we have possession of, that we physically control, is solo mining Caspa. We're not doing anything else other than focusing on Caspa for the time being. Correct me if I'm wrong, or because I'm pretty sure we didn't get rid of it. We turned it off. But no, so we're solo mining Caspa. We're focusing on that. I have my own opinion on other projects that are out there that are more friendly to your cards. And I don't know if we want to go into that right now or not, but Caspa seems to be the one that sticks out for me, at least, in mining. And since it's still, you can solo mine it fairly easy with a decent amount of cards, we're focusing on that. I really like ETC. I don't think ETC is going anywhere. And as the bull market picks up, I think that ETC will be a competitor to stick with. Flux is good. Flux has their own problems. They seem to be able to fix everything, and that kind of annoys me. But Flux is, I don't know. I can't, like, it's fine. Like, I like what they're doing. I honestly do. And you know what? You bring up Flux, and I know you were about to say something earlier. Sorry, John.
No, you're fine.
Someone asked earlier when we were talking about CCM token, were we able to add it to Zelcore, which is a Flux product? Yes, we were. So you can add CCM token to Zelcore. At some point, I'll do a video about that, so you guys can see that. What were you going to say, John?
No, you're right on the point. I mean, Flux, they've promised a lot, and they've tried to implement a lot, but going back and forth with our dev who likes Flux, it's hit or miss. I mean, it could be great. Flux could be an amazing thing if it was just more information about how to do certain things within their chain. Right, that's that kind of disconnect. There's a lot of promises. There's a lot of talk, and a lot of utilities that are built into Flux, but not a lot of how does the everyday person do it.
Yeah. And honestly,
don't cry.
And I honestly, dude, to kind of take one more step back, ETC, like, I don't think or foresee developing stopping on ETC. Like right now, I've kind of been like, in crypto Twitter, you're seeing some things going on. There are a few NFT projects that are launching on ETC, and I think that if OpenSea gets their shit together at some point and they add Ethereum Classic Network to their platform, I think ETC has a real cutting edge on the NFT side of things in just being competitive to Ethereum, which is centralized garbage. So there's some promise there. Caspa, one of the fastest transactions at the current time being. But GPU mining, yeah, it's pretty grim right now. But at this point, we've just come to the realization that we're gonna pick a coin. It's gonna be a lottery ticket. and we'll see what that does, and
Yeah.
which project we like.
We'll mine it till we hit a number that we like. It'll probably be some kind of stupid meme number, but we'll get there. We like Caspa because of the fundamentals behind it are very similar to Bitcoin and Litecoin, and how they started in their infancy. And I'm going way back. I'm going 2009 Bitcoin when the conception, when you could mine it on a CPU. That's it's very similar. Caspa is very similar in that sense, where that's how it's progressing. That's what we are seeing for Caspa. So we're trying to stockpile it now. I don't. We'll if we hit $10, we hit $5, we hit $100, I'll be happy. But we feel it has that potential. We're not financial advisors. We're not financial advice. We're just optimistic for Caspa because of the directions that the technology is going.
Oh, don't even get me freaking started. Full disclosure.
Mine's still running upstairs.
Yeah, full disclosure. We have helium devices. We are mining on the Helium network. So what do you think about Dish Network partnering with Helium to support its nationwide 4G network? Who is Dish Network again? Where's the path of regular network TV going? Is it going to streaming devices, or are people really, in the satellite scene? I know it's a multi-million-dollar business, Dish Network. You said, what was it? Yeah, Dish Network. And then what's the other one? DirecTV, I think.
DirecTV.
Yeah. Whatever the other satellite provider is. The only satellite network that seems like it's going to go anywhere is Elon Musk's Starlink. And he provides internet. He doesn't provide TV. So honestly, Helium is making some changes that just, in my opinion, are not advantageous for their blockchain, and they're not in favorable of the community that they're supporting. Case in point, them moving to the Solana blockchain. Give me a period of quarters since Solana has been up and running from its inception that it has been up and running 100%. Give me any quarter from when it started to now and tell me that it's been 100% running.
Fiscal quarter.
Yeah. I highly doubt that is something that can be said. Like I don't know right off the top of my head, but I'm just saying, like, I doubt it. So if they can't get Solana to be 100% running at all times, that will have a cascading effect with Helium, and then Helium with Dish Network. Yeah. Anything that revolves around Helium, I think, is just some gimmick game. Again, full disclosure, we have Helium devices. We are mining Helium regularly. We're not going to shut them off. They've paid themselves off at this point. So they're just going to sit there and keep turning until they don't turn.
Consume anymore. Less power than a wireless router. So
yeah, it's just, you might as well just keep them on. And at first, the Internet of Things, I really had like a firm belief, but then, starting to see just how everything unfolded, and all of the problems that they had, even in the bull market with their manufacturers, it just became very clear that Helium is a money grab.
It's supposed to be under promise and over deliver, not over promise and under deliver. Yeah. They stopped listening to their community. They stopped listening to the feedback. That's my issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know that doesn't really directly answer your question of what we feel about. Well, I guess what we think about. It's a joke. And honestly, it won't do anything that'll benefit the project at the end of the day.
It's a money grab for Dish Network.
Yep.
In my opinion.
Hey, have you heard any more about FPGAs? I think from the last time we talked, there's been very little that I found out. I know that the ospreys are real. They are very real. So that is scary for Caspa. That is why we are still solo mining it.
Thank you, wife.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I think that's her way of telling me to. She wants me to get off, but no, we'll keep going.
Yeah. Like, hey, what else? Where was it going? Oh, so FPGAs. It's gonna take over Caspa for sure. I don't think it's gonna be like a real threat for, the other. What is the other one? I see, dude. I've been so frustrated with that network that I can't even think of it. Ergo. I don't think it's gonna be a problem for Ergo. Like, it's so frustrated that I've completely blocked it out of my mind. I don't want nothing to do with that blockchain. So ridiculous.
We tried, and it's not from a lack of trying.
Mm-hmm. Fix your difficulty issues. God damn it.
Yep.
Yeah. So FPGAs, they're definitely on the Caspa network. I don't think that there's going to be a plethora amount of them. I'm still looking for, a reliable supplier at a decent price, but FPGAs are expensive, man. And it's hard to really swallow that pill, I guess. I'd rather just get some more GPUs because I know that, I can take those to a different algo at any given point without having to rebuild a bit stream somewhere somehow. I just don't want to be stuck on it. And when it's time for, ASICs to really hit Caspa, then, we're going to be all in on that.
Yep. Yeah, we're doing really well with GPUs and solo mining. Mark is a wizard when it comes to. Well, I don't. You have more patience with GPUs than I do. There's so many different variations of them that when it comes to tuning, I can't remember everything. My brain is too filled with ASICs and shipping. But yeah, I mean, I like FPGAs. I mean, we're bordering the realm of ASICs there. I like to take it apart and play with it.
Yeah, no, and those hash blades for the LTC that we talked on our last live stream, like those are FPGAs if you think about it. Like it's the same thing.
Yep. Plug and play. I gotcha.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, dude. Like we're solo mining Caspa on a majority of older cards, mostly 5700s for the most part, and we're sitting, at.
I think our oldest card is a 4080.
Yeah.
480, not 4080, 480.
Yeah, 480. We don't talk about those though. We just threw it on there. Just might as well at this point. No, but we're like at 5700s. I think we're doing like 100 gigahash, somewhere around there. And I think we're like pretty close to like 50, maybe 40 watts. Like it's ridiculous. And I'm happy with that. On each 5700, so it's just there's tuning capabilities to keep these things efficient. I know that for a fact that out of most of the server cases that we have on the 5700s, none of them are over 500 watts. No. So and yeah,
the 2000 watt power supplies that I have in them is way overkill.
100%.
No, what's our I'm sure they're kind of curious what's our take home from solo mining with what we have on. What's our payouts?
We're averaging about 3 blocks a day, so that's a little. I think that's close to about 1,000 a day. I think we're in the neighborhood of about 10 gigahash. So it's not like
using old cards, rigged together GPU stuff, open rigs, closed rigs. We just threw everything we had at it and saw, trying to see what would stick.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a terrible amount, but it's, still we're doing 3 blocks a day.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's fun to watch the number climb. And it's all about stacking and supporting the communities and the tokens that you like.
Yeah, we don't have anything like SOT has.
Token.
Yeah. We don't have anything like SOT has, but yeah. Yeah, we could. I mean, why not? Take a portion of that, pour it into CCM.
No. But yeah, I got nothing else. You got anything?
No, we're good.
We
Dude. This is a
ranted
good
for
stream.
almost for 2 hours.
We're in a professional overclocker, he says.
Mark's got way more patience. I mean, you're over there rethermal pasting all the graphics cards. You know, I'm sending Mark batches of cards every month for him to repaste.
Yeah, it's fun times.
But you're so good at it. Your little paintbrush.
I got a couple videos out there that I put up just showing how I do it. I'm no wizard, but
it makes a difference, so it's worth it. Yes, no.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. All right, guys. I think that really calls it. We're kind of winding down at this point.
Yep. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, tickle the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, do what you got to do. We would love to get these live streams to a bigger audience. Share out the channel. Anybody who's looking to get into cryptocurrency or looking to get into mining, we're here to help. Join the conversation. It's an open floor. So you guys are always welcome to ask, share your opinion, share your thoughts. We're here to listen. We're here to talk about it. We're here to have fun and to just grow the community. So just let us know, comment down below. Mark will do his thing in the next couple days and divide up the live stream. I'll go ahead and make thumbnails. So if you did miss any of the live stream or you're looking for a particular part, we'll break it down for you. So look forward to those videos in the upcoming week. In the meantime, we are always on coastalcryptomining.com. And I'll do my best to get some more little shorts out to you as more equipment comes across the Coastal Crypto Castle desk.
Yep.
All right, guys, take it easy. Wait, we got a few more comments here. Oh, they're saying good night. Good night.
Yeah. Tune in next week for the next pump and dump.